4th time I'm trying to upload this video now. So, first 3 times sucked, charged the battery, hopefully all goes well this time. So, the first time I tried to upload this video, I didn't like the way it looked. So, I did not have enough photos or footage to fill in how long this video was. So, I was like, you know what, I gotta figure something else out. So, here we are, 4th time. Hopefully 4th time's a charm this time. So, today's video is gonna be on Emma's house. Emma's home. I don't know why I said house. Emma's home. And, like I said, when I went and took pictures and footage, I know somebody lives in this house. I don't like to take pictures or footage of somebody's house when they're living there. It's kind of awkward to me. So I got some. I feel like it's more authentic when I actually get footage of the story I'm telling. Lovely. Lovely. That would be Vinny the robot vacuum knocking something over. I know exactly what he knocked over, and I'm not going up there to fix it. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to talk about Emma's home, and let's get into it. So Emma Jones was born in Orfordsville, Wisconsin in 1879. She was one of 16 children. Emma and her husband Frank were married in Rockford in 1898. The newlywed couple moved around a little. Frank worked as a blacksmith, a town marshal, and a game warden. Eventually the couple moved into a lovely home not far from the Rock River on the city's east side. The house was built in the mid-1880s and was very distinctive. So this house is literally a block away from the Rock River, which the house across the street from it was really old looking too, so I'm assuming they might be from the same era. Frank owned a transportation company at 117 Madison Street and traveled quite a bit for his work. He grew the truck. Why can't I talk or read? Why? Probably because this is the 4th time. I could probably tell the story without reading it. But anyways, he grew the trucking company from one single truck into a whole fleet of 62 trucks. They had 2 sons, Carl and Ray. Ray worked with his father to run the transfer company. Emma had her dogs to keep her company while Frank was away. The dogs were devoted to her and would follow her everywhere. She spent many hours caring for their large home, and neighbors would often give her compliments about the beautiful property. It was easy to tell that Emma truly loved her house. Neighbors would often see Emma puttering in her yard or sitting up in the attic window watching the boats on the river. Time passed, and on a cold December morning at the end of 1941, Emma was heartbroken to find Frank dead in their bed. The family held his funeral in the beautiful home. Emma was left all alone in the big house. She still had her beloved dogs by her side and still liked to sit in the attic window, though the view was now blocked with other buildings that had sprung up over the years. There are some very big-ass buildings down there. Different companies. I don't know what they are. It's not relevant to the story. But yeah, you can't really see the river from the house no more. Plus there was some really big trees in the backyard, so you can't see the river no more. Although I did get footage of I took some pictures of the river. Well, anyways, Emma suffered another tragedy when her son Ray died unexpectedly at the age of 59. The papers told of the kindness and generosity that Ray extended as the head of the transfer company. He moved all the equipment from the old location of the Rockford Memorial Hospital without charge. His helpfulness crossed religious, social, and economic lines. Can I talk? Claimed the Morning Star article of December 30th, 1962. Emma couldn't care for the house as well in her advanced years, and it fell into a state of disrepair. Her precious dogs passed away, and her grasp on reality started to slip. Her son Carl became concerned and decided his mother shouldn't live alone anymore. He moved her to his home. Her confusion worsened, and she did not understand why she was not in her lovely home anymore. Legend tells that sometimes Emma would wander away from Carl's home and make it back to her house. She couldn't go in, of course, and her concerned neighbors would see her wandering the grounds and call Carl to come. The family finally had to admit that Emma would not be returning to the house that she and Frank had shared, and they made the painful decision to sell the home. One of the first realtors to show the place brought a young couple to the home. He realized that the electricity wasn't working, so he made his way into the basement to check the fuse box. The man didn't have a flashlight with him, so he lit a match. In the flickering light of the match, he was startled to see an elderly woman standing next to him. The match went out, and when he finally got another one lit, the woman was gone. The realtor hurriedly checked the fuses and got the lights to come on. Of course, he never mentioned the woman in the basement to the couple waiting upstairs. The couple purchased the home and worked very hard to restore it to its former glory. They were slightly concerned with some of the strange things that happened around the house. They often heard the sound of a dog's claws on the hardwood floors and the sound of pieces of metal rattling. They also heard strange knocking sounds all throughout the house. The couple had exterminators come check for mice, but no reason for the knockings could be found. One cold February day, the young couple walked into the front parlor and found a little old lady standing there. She looked at them quite cross and demanded to know why they were in her house. They stood there in shock as she walked past them and went out the front door. They mentioned the visit to the neighbors, who told them it was probably Emma. They explained that Emma was confused and didn't understand that the house was no longer hers. They told the couple to phone the family to let them know that Emma had wandered away again. When the couple called, they were stunned when the family replied that it could not have been Emma who visited them. Emma had died weeks before. The couple moved out shortly after that. The next man to own the house didn't stay long either. He would receive phone calls in the middle of the night. At first, no one responded to his greetings, but finally one night when he answered the phone, a voice asked him, "Am I dead?" The voice, he claimed, belonged to an old lady. He also left the house. I don't know why they're leaving because of an old lady. An old lady. Anyways, after that, the house stayed empty for a while, and the neighbors would speak of seeing someone sitting up in the attic window, the same windows where Emma often sat to wait for Frank. Emma's house was eventually bought by MELD, a not-for-profit organization that assists teen mothers. Remodeling was done to create office spaces. During the construction, workers had quite a few incidents that happened at the house. When they stepped outside to take a break, the door would lock by itself behind them. They would turn off all the lights when they left for the evening and walk out to the back where there was a parking area. When they glanced back up at the house, the lights would all be lit again. The reports of strange incidents didn't stop when the remodeling was finished, however. The ladies in the offices would complain about items turning up missing only to be found in some remote place. They had a little tradition of baking cakes to celebrate the birthdays of the women who worked in the building. The women would leave the cake in the kitchen area on the counter, and several times they found later that a hunk had been removed from the center. After discussing it, they decided that if Emma were truly still there with them, they should be more accommodating. So they started to cut a piece of cake and leave it there for Emma. After that, they never had trouble with baked goods again. Women working in the building also told of strange noises and decided that it was Emma's dogs. They supposed that it was the dogs' claws and the metal on their collars that were making the noises. They never felt frightened, but they were startled at times. One young lady, who was often the last to leave in the evenings, told of one night when she left very late. She turned out the lights, locked the doors, and set the alarm. She got into her car and was driving past the front of the house when, for some reason, she turned to look at the doorway. There was a large window in the front door, and through the glass she saw a little old lady standing on the staircase. She didn't stop and go back inside. She knew exactly who it was. Later, the house was remodeled and turned back into a home. It is now owned by a nice family who has really made it into a beautiful home once again. They say that they have never experienced any strange incidents since they moved in. Maybe Emma approves of the house she loved belonging to a family once again. And there you have it. 4th time. And literally I've gotten that far and the battery died. So like I said, I do have some pictures that I took. Me and Lexi actually took a walk down the bike path. I took a bunch of pictures of the river. I took some pictures of Nicholas Conservatory and the pond behind it. And they also have a rose bed behind that. I may include some of the pictures, probably not all of them. Just something to get a little more background, I guess, to this crazy town that we live in that's full of crime. So, on that note, if you guys like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. And if you have any thoughts or ideas of any type of video that you think that I may find interesting, please leave that down in the comment section below. I would love to see other ideas. I have some, but it'd be nice to have other input as well. On that note, you guys have a fabulous day, and thank you for watching.